The Isuzu D-Max is, in my opinion, the cockroach of four-wheel drives, and I mean that in the best sense. This thing is tough and it just refuses to die. But later this year, this model, which has been around for quite a long time now, is going to be replaced by something newer tech, more safety, new interior, all that sort of thing. So if you want the latest and the greatest, wait for the new one. However, not all people do want that. Maybe you want something that's a bit more proven with runs on the board. You might be looking at this model before it's all gone, and it's in run out, so it's at a very good price at the moment. So let me run you through the 5 things I love and don't love about this Isuzu D-Max. Plus, I'll show you some handy storage features on the inside that is a little bit hidden. You might not know about it, so stay tuned for that. Number 1 thing I love about this D-Max. What's under the bonnet? It's a 3-litre turbo diesel that's been under the bonnet of these things for a long time. So it's only got 130 kilowatts and 430 Newton meters, which means it's one of the least powerful and least torquey when you look at it on the spec sheet. However, it's got capacity on its side. This is a 3-litre engine. A lot of them are 2.4, 2.3, even 2 litres these days. And it does perform better than those specs indicate. I've towed with these before, I've taken them off-road, and I've driven them loaded up with a lot of horse feed in the tray before, and they've always performed well. And they've got one of the best reputations out there. In terms of longevity, if you want to own a 4-wheel drive ute for a long time, you'd have one of these on the top of your list. The second point is the interior, and the D-Max is feeling very old in that regard. This infotainment system, it's a little bit bigger in this specification, but it's dated, doesn't really have many redeeming features. This has tilt but no slide, and the seats aren't very comfortable, and just the general ambience. This feels very old in comparison to some of the newer 4-wheel drive utes in the segment. It's not all bad, however. There is a few things I do like about this D-Max interior. Number 1 is dual glove boxes, and you'll see there's a 12-volt plug in there, which is quite handy, and you've got some slide-out cup holders under the air vents. Also, it's a bit awkward to open, but there's some handy storage there as well. This LST does get leather seats and some nice trimmings around the place. But if it was me spending the cash, I'd be leaning towards the lower end of the D-Max range. You're losing out on things like leather seats, and you've got a smaller infotainment display, but you've got the same storage, you've got the same general interior, but you're saving a lot of money. The second row of the D-Max is reasonably comfortable and spacious for the segment. I've got a bit of legroom here, a little bit of tow room too. Headroom is decent, although tall people might start to get towards the roof. There's one USB point there and a couple of cup holders, maybe a little bit awkward. Now I have noticed that there is no ISOFIX points in this, and considering this is a bit of a family car these days, a bit of a soft spot for the D-Max, but do have a comfortable armrest. These back seats do fold down, and that gives you access to a bit of storage space in behind here. Not a lot, but it is useful. But there is another secret spot, which I did mention before. That's hiding under the seats. Pull this lever, up this goes. Now you can put that up and out of the way, but under this hatch here, you've got a bit of stuff to change tires. There's a nice bottle jack there, which I like to see. Better than scissor jacks in my opinion, but there's also space for a few other things, maybe a recovery kit or something like that. And there's another one on the other side too. It's a little bit small, but you could fit something like some tools or spares, say if you're going away on a long trip. The third thing to mention is the suspension on this D-Max. Now, Isuzu did change to a 3-leaf pack in the back here, which did yield some benefits in terms of how this thing rides. It's a little bit smoother these days, but it's still not what you would call smooth or particularly refined. But I'm okay with that. There are some more important things to worry about with a car like this. This thing has a near ton payload, and I've taken this thing right up there before, and the suspension can handle it. And it's got 3.5 ton towing as well. While it might not be the quickest rocket ship on the road at that time, this suspension is up to the job in its stock form. In terms of off-roading, I've spent a fair bit of time behind the wheel of an Isuzu D-Max. I've been to places like Fraser Island and the Victorian High Country, and lots of local trips as well, doing testing over the years. And while it is a good off-roader in its base form, there is a couple of big omissions. Number 1, it's lacking a locking rear differential, which most of the competition has, and would be a massive benefit to this D-Max. Other utes have a traction control system, which is of great benefit off-road as well, but unfortunately for this D-Max, it's lacking as well. It's just not smartly tuned enough to let you crawl slowly over tough obstacles. So that would be one area where you could really get a great improvement on this D-Max. Point number 5 is price. Now I did mention before this D-Max is in run out. Isuzu is trying to clear stock before the new one lands later this year. Now I had a look on the website before and Isuzu is listing this LST D-Max for $51,990 drive away. Now I reckon you could probably do a bit better than that if you go to a dealer. And also, I probably wouldn't be looking at this specification personally. I'd be looking right down towards the bottom, potentially even SX. You can get a four-wheel drive, you can still get the same drive line, automatic or manual, and you're looking in the high 30s drive away for that car. Now, in my opinion, that's a good ute at a solid price. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel for more automotive content and hit that bell icon as well, because that means you'll get notified every time we put out a new car review. And that will include the new Isuzu D-Max, which will turn up later this year.